I'm going to do a little rundown of the bike in this video so you can kind of understand what I'm taking this year. It's a little bit different to last year, as you can see. Right, briefly, this is the bike that I'm going to be using this year at Badlands. So it's not an Cervélo, which you will notice. This is Cervélo ZHT-5. So the drop, it's basically Cervélo's hardtail that they made, which was developed in conjunction with Jumbo-Visma, but I've put drop bars on it. Now, you'll see I've done loads of stuff with this bike with the drop bars. Been using it in Sri Lanka, using it in Austria, for various like bike packing trips recently, and there's been a few reasons why. Now, first of all is comfort. I'm still recovering with the wrists, so trying to make myself as comfortable as possible while riding, and it does actually make a big difference. For me, being in that road style position ultimately feels way more comfortable than being on a flat bar, which you'd have if you're using a hardtail. And also shifting with a electronic Di2 group set just is much nicer for my wrists. It means less of this movement, and this is the movement that causes the pain if I was to use like a mechanical group set, but with a Di2 or an electronic group set you don't have that kind of movement. Now with my wrists, I broke both of them. The right one is now really good, no problems there. The left one though is still a bit temperamental. Manageable. I'm allowed to ride, so I'm not worried in that context. I've been told I can ride, it's not too much of a problem, but it does get a bit uncomfortable. So this year the plan on Badlands is to ride a drop bar hardtail, which to be honest with you I think is probably the bike that most people should ride, unless you're going to go there. What's your line? Unless you're going to go there to try and absolutely blitz it in like a day or two. So I'm going to do a proper video with Jack when he gets here, talking through the spec and exactly what I'm packing, but give you a brief overview of what I've got so far on this and the setup. So Cervélo ZHT-5. All of the bags are from Tailfin. This is one of the R&D top tube bags, so they've now released these properly and they're slightly different to the R&D versions, but the idea is the same. Custom full frame bag. In terms of what's in here, there is at the moment a Badlands t-shirt and a couple of gels from Styrkr. That's it in there. So you've basically got this top half triangle, which I'm using for stuff, and then this bottom half is a bladder in there. So it basically means I've got the ability to hold 3 litres of water in the frame, plus a hydration vest, which is like another 1.5 litres or 2 litres, I think. So lots of water. Every year I've ended up wanting to take more water just to make sure I've got enough. That's one of the big challenges with this event, is making sure we've got water, I would say. Finishing kit, I'll mention quickly, is all from NV. So it's NV stem, NV gravel handlebars, so they're a flared handlebar, and an NV seat post. I'm using a Gebiomized sleek saddle, which with Dan we've been doing a lot of like bike fitting stuff on, and this just seems to work really well for me. This little bag here is from Tailfin as well, the down tube bag. I'm basically using that as like spares, tools, that kind of stuff, and it will roll up a little bit bigger to probably about there if I want to, but I've got tons of clearance there. Dyno plug there, pump, one of Schwalbe's SOS pumps on the other side, you just see sneaking through. I'm using a dynamo light. I've been testing a few different options, and I keep going back to the K-light system, which I purchased. Pretty expensive, but I've used it now for 3 or 4 years, I think. The reason why I like it is ease of setup, and it doesn't flicker. It's just all plug and play. You don't have to solder stuff. It's really easy to do. And the problem is I need to actually just get my head around some of the other ones I've got to try out a bit more. So I went down the route of going like, this is what I know, this is what I've used, so I'm going to use that for the time being. But I'm very keen to try out some of the other brands. Supernova is one I want to try out. I've used Exposure's one in the past, but the K-Light system seems to be the one I keep going back to, if I'm honest. And then, anyway, back to the bike. This is a prototype little rear saddle pack from Tailfin as well. Mounts on the seat post, mounts underneath the seat post. Really, actually, really stable, but it's a prototype we're testing out to see what we think. You always tell Tailfin prototype stuff, R&D division stuff, is white, so it's a bit of a giveaway. Tyres from Schwalbe, I'm using a Racing Ray on the front and a Racing Ralph on the rear, so a bit more grippy, bit faster. 2.35 tyres, big tyres on reserve. 30 on the front and a reserve 28 on the back. So that is basically to do the spoke count. Needed a 30 on the front to allow me to build it up with a dynamo hub. 180 rotor on the front, big boy. 160 on the back, still a big boy, I guess. And then crankset, XTR crankset with 32 tooth chainring with an XTR 11 speed Di2 rear mech paired with GRX Di2 shifters. It's all 11 speed. Now the XTR Di2 rear mech, I've got it set up with an 11 to 46 cassette. Works absolutely fine. The way I got around that was basically using a longer screw as the B-limit screw. It does say you can make it work with a 46 tooth cassette on Shimano's website, but for me, putting in the longer limiter screw just seemed to make it work better, so I did that. Pedals are Garmin Rally mountain bike pedals. Really like these, to be honest with you. I don't have any complaints about them. The only thing is the stack height is quite high, so if you are going to use these, you need to accommodate that in your saddle height. But yeah, that's basically it on the bike. In terms of what's in the bag, I haven't really loaded it up properly yet, but the rear pack will basically be sleeping stuff. Top tube bag is kind of charging shit, and the frame bag will be water, food, whatever else I need to shove in there. I'm also going to be running a torch on my helmet and a battery powered exposure rear light and battery powered front light, which the front light Nick from Backyard has lent me is a massive one. The rear light is one I purchased. And then I also have a Styrkr bicycle mount computer, which I purchased because it's bougie and I really liked it. It looks really smart. That's it. Computer this time, and same as last time, is the 1040 solar. It just doesn't seem to ever need to be charged, which is great. But yeah, if you have any questions on the bike and the setup, drop it in the comments and I will reply as quick as I can. But yeah, first day of riding around done. Chill out for the rest of the day. Got another little social ride tomorrow. Jack gets here on Saturday, so we'll film some more stuff and like proper bike check things. But yeah, hopefully that was interesting. I'll see you later. Do you like showers?
I like showers if I don't have to pay the water.